The moment you open your mouth to explain why you left, you've already lost. Not partially, completely. Every word you offer as justification is a brick you hand to someone else to build a cage around you. The masses call this being mature. They call it healthy communication. What it actually is begging. And you don't beg. Here is the mechanism no one tells you about. When you withdraw from a relationship, a situation, or a person, and you feel that suffocating pull to explain yourself, that pull is not conscience. It is not emotional intelligence. It is a conditioned reflex, engineered over years by a social order that benefits from your transparency. The masses are trained to believe that silence is aggression, that disappearance is cruelty, that the other person deserves an explanation. Deserves. That word alone should make your skin crawl. Since when does anyone deserve access to your internal architecture? You started to pull away for a reason. Maybe the dynamic was corrosive. Maybe the person revealed something that made them permanently irrelevant to your trajectory. It doesn't matter. The moment you sit down to craft that explanation, that long, carefully worded message about why you need space, why things have changed, why you've decided to move on, you have handed your opponent the most dangerous weapon they will ever hold against you. You have given them a map, and maps get used. Think about what an explanation actually does in a power dynamic. It does not create clarity. It creates leverage. Every sentence you write is a data point. Every reason you give is a wall they can breach. Tell someone you left because they were draining your energy, and now they know exactly which performance to put on to pull you back. Tell someone you left because you needed to focus on your goals, and now they have a script for the next time they approach you. You think you are closing a door. You are leaving it unlocked with a note taped to the handle describing exactly how to pick it. The architecture of power in human interaction is brutal and simple. Presence equals value. Explanation equals debt. The moment you explain your absence, you are not departing, you are negotiating your departure. And negotiation requires concessions. This is why the silent withdrawal, the unannounced removal of your presence, is not coldness, it is precision. It is the surgical removal of your energy from an equation that was costing you more than it was returning. Imagine you've been locked in a professional environment, a team, a project, a working dynamic, where someone has been quietly draining the room for months. They don't do it loudly. They do it through endless requests for reassurance, through calculated helplessness that always seems to land at your feet, through the kind of dependency that masquerades as trust. You've watched it happen to you and told yourself it's fine, it's manageable, it's what good people do. Then one day, you decide you're done. You stop responding at the same speed. You stop volunteering your time. You create distance, not with a conversation, not with a formal announcement, just with consistent, quiet absence. And here is what happens. They spiral, not because you hurt them, because they no longer have a target. Your silence does not wound them, it disorients them. They cannot fight what isn't there. They cannot manipulate a response that never arrives. They cannot reframe a narrative when you refuse to participate in writing it. That is not cruelty, that is dominance through disappearance. The psychology underneath this is exact. Human beings are meaning-making machines. When you vanish without explanation, the other person is forced to generate meaning from nothing. They fill the vacuum with their own material, their guilt, their anxiety, their obsessive replaying of every interaction. You are no longer present to correct them, to redirect them, to give them comfort. They are alone with the worst interrogator they will ever face, themselves. You have transferred the psychological burden entirely. This is what the Stoics understood long before modern psychology had the language for it. Marcus Aurelius did not explain himself to every senator who questioned his silence. Epictetus did not justify his detachment to those who found it unsettling. They understood that a man who must be understood by everyone is controlled by everyone. Your need to be understood is the leash. Cut it. Now understand the other side of this. When you explain yourself, you are not only giving away leverage, you are revealing your decision-making process. You are essentially advertising the threshold at which you can be pushed until you break. Every explanation contains within it the implicit information of what would have changed it, what you would have needed to stay, what behavior would have made you tolerate more. This is strategic intelligence about your own vulnerabilities, handed over freely, dressed up as emotional honesty. The strong do not do this. The strong leave when they are done. No press release. No exit interview. No extended metaphor about needing to grow. The chair is empty. The chapter is closed. And the silence that follows is not passive. It is a statement in a language that bypasses argument entirely. It cannot be refuted. It cannot be misquoted. It cannot be weaponized because it contains no material to weaponize. There is a transition that happens inside you when you fully internalize this. You stop being a participant who requires validation for your decisions. You stop monitoring whether the other person understood, whether they accepted it, whether they think you're a decent human for how you handled it. You become an observer. You watch the interaction from outside it. Your actions are made, not explained. Your departures are executed, not announced. And from that position, the noise of other people's reactions, the anger, the confusion, the accusations, becomes what it has always been, irrelevant weather. You don't argue with weather. You don't apologize to it, you simply move. So here is where you stand right now. There is someone, somewhere in your life, who is waiting for you to explain yourself. A message you haven't sent, a conversation you keep rehearsing in your head. Every version of it starts with, "I just wanted you to know why." Stop, do not send it. Not out of spite, out of clarity. The explanation serves them, not you. It provides comfort to the person you've already decided has no claim on your energy. The only question that matters is this: are you going to keep performing your decisions for an audience that was never meant to have that seat? Or are you going to accept that your silence is the most sovereign thing you own? The masses will always mistake your stillness for confusion. Let them. Their misreading of you is not your problem to correct. You move without announcing movement. You withdraw without filing a report. You are not absent. You are simply elsewhere, building something they will never be allowed to be part of. There is another layer to this silence, a dimension even colder and more precise. And if you think you've already mastered this, you haven't seen what it looks like when someone turns this weaponized absence inward against their own need for identity. That one will shake you.